September is National Suicide Prevention Month. I know we're heading into the end of the month, but there is never a day we shouldn't be talking about suicide in the United States. I've noticed this year very little chatter about it or media coverage about the subject of suicide. Yes, this is a warning. Information we may talk about in the next few minutes is disturbing, but it's true. And I need to remind everybody that we have to discuss things. Now, September. The biggest thing is that a year ago in July 2022, a new 3-digit code was launched at 988. And to my surprise, and I shouldn't be shocked anymore about anything, over a year ago, yet most people I speak to, including those in healthcare, big cities, small cities, they don't even know 988 exists. So we have to do a better job in talking about 988. Now, granted, we don't want to ever, I think we can all agree, get to the point where we want to use 988 as our emergency number if we're in crisis or a loved one is in crisis. But it's there. We need a 988. On the flip side of that, we want to talk about holistic healing. We have an American crisis with youth in suicide. We know that it is escalating. The studies are behind. All I can tell you is that kids are not figuring things out. They aren't critically analyzing and taking steps to solve things. A lot of them. They are not enlisting their parents or, a confidant in their struggles. And so many kids would rather turn to killing themselves. Of course, a lot of it is fueled by the internet, the sextortion, the cyberbullying. The kids are comparing themselves. Remember, everything online, and this is information I'm telling you that you need to share, is pretty much fake. 15-year-olds aren't living the glamorous life with Louis Vuitton pocketbooks. And we've talked about that here on The Warriors. So it's up to each and every one of us. So 988, not only is it a resource if you're in crisis, it used to be the Suicide Prevention Lifeline. If you still call that number, you will be connected. It's the same thing, but nobody could remember ever that number. So 988 is perfect. But I'm shocked we don't teach it in the schools. I'm shocked we don't have public service announcements, TV commercials. Yeah, there's been a little bit, but not enough. Never enough, right? So while the media is busy talking about whatever the flavor of the day is, these are the issues we should be talking about. But if you have questions about suicide, if you have maybe something wrong with my child, but I don't really know, you can call 988. You can ask. You can talk to them. You can ask them to share vetted studies, reading material. You can ask them what resources are available in your community, and they'll help you. Because when I am given a story that a 5-year-old killed themselves, and I keep asking, and nobody can answer me, well, where did a 5-year-old learn to kill themselves? And of course, the standard answer is, well, they saw something online. Goes deeper into, should a 5-year-old be online? That's another problem. I can find all kinds of videos directing children, teens, all people, how to do things, how to kill themselves. If you're going to be upset, don't listen to this video. But what we need to do is take a long, hard look at our family members. Many people will say, I don't want to talk about suicide or ask questions that will lead them to harm themselves. It's the opposite. Indicators. Obviously, if somebody's talking about suicide repeatedly, ideation, red flag. You know your children. You know your family members. If all of a sudden they may have once, dressed, always been neat and clean, and all of a sudden they're sloppy, disheveled, they don't want to leave the house, they don't want to come over, they don't want to talk, they don't want to participate in anything. They're always busy, they're not picking up the phone, something's going on. They do want you to talk to them. You need to be there. No matter how hard it is, and they will push you away. You need to be there. Now, if it's your child, They're in your home, so you have access to them. You need to be there. You need to ask questions. You need to call a 988 and just get information. You also need to listen, listen, listen. If you remember these 5 things I'm telling you, listen. The children are reporting to us that they want parents and caregivers to step up and take more of an interest in them. A new report just came out last week. Parents are spending more time online each day than they are spending with their own children. It's all right there. We can solve it though. If we come together, we talk about it, and we just take action. That's all it takes. Have a conscious that this is going on. Many children have reported to me, well, my dad said he's busy on the computer. My mom said, come back later. She's playing a game or something. They see everything, the kids. They're smart. They're savvy. I always tell you that. So you have to ask questions. You have to really try hard to get them to talk, no matter how you do it. And not over. You're not, examining. It's not like in a courtroom. It's casual conversation. You know your child best, or your family member. You know how to do it. You need to listen. But the thing that's missing, people need to follow up constantly. This is like a daily exercise that you have to do. And you must be on top of this, because I can't keep telling you. My heart breaks. The families that say, my son or my daughter went to bed at night. We had a family dinner. I picked them up from school, whatever the case is. Everything seemed fine, seemed normal. And the child killed themselves overnight. Suicide. Some of the facts, we have a study that ends in 2021. Not good enough. We may be in 2023, but we know from our work we do at the Warriors and what healthcare providers, nurses, doctors, clinics, whatever they tell us, give us our information, because we at the Warriors are about information, that 40% of the children showing up in emergency rooms, and I use this a lot because it's the one fact that can kind of get you to wake up and say, oh, goodness, I have to take action, or I have to look into this, or I have to keep an eye on my child. 40% of the 9 to 17-year-olds, 40% of the cases showing up in emergency rooms are children 11 and under who have tried to commit suicide. So I'm not going to sit here and keep telling you how bad this is. As usual, it is something that's brushed under the rug a lot. We do have brave parents and family members who have had to endure this, stepping out, trying to educate others. That's great. Education is always needed. These sad family members that want to do good and share their voice. What happened in their home should never happen in your home. But in the meantime, we have to intercept all of this and intervene. I'm tired of letting everybody else raise our children, the schools, or maybe even religions, or other kids educating other kids online, where there's so much misinformation and disinformation. All day long, I can pick out things almost with my eyes closed. You have to know what are the well-vetted resources. You have to roll up your sleeves and do a little homework, do a little work, get involved. Know what your kids are doing as much as you can at school, what the curriculum is, who their friends are. That's very important. But just be aware if their demeanor changes. And I've had parents say, well, moody teenager. I'm not sure if that was really something, or always to be better on the safe side, right? Whether we talk about digital safety, real-time safety, suicide, domestic violence, it starts with open and honest conversation, gently easing into it and making it part of our routines. So let us come together. September is National Suicide Prevention Month. Keep that 988 handy, whether you keep it in your phone, the side of the fridge, in a drawer. Call it. Get some information if you want. Find out. Everybody should be finding out what is available right in your own community. If you are in some sort of emergency situation with a child or a family member, the number is not just for children. I talk about children a lot because I cannot believe what we allow in this country to go on with children. I cannot believe that children are treated like chattel. Children have no rights. Children are supposed to, now, according to our government, can work in bars, restaurants serving liquor in the state of Iowa. Children, we know, coming over the border, all these unaccompanied minors, as they're called. Great portion of them are sex trafficked, labor trafficked. Unacceptable, no matter what you think about the border. Human rights abuses. And then our children here in New York State being groomed, and groomed is the word. You can grow up and be a sex worker. It's empowerment. My body, my choice. I leave you with this. We have a youth mental health crisis. We have a youth suicide crisis. It is up to each and every one of us to take action in our homes, in our communities. And it starts with knowing about 988, suicide prevention, Lifeline. So remember, September can't be the only month we talk about suicide. We have to talk about it every month. Be aware, do some research. Always go to lynswarriors.org. Tips, resources, take actions. And every day wake up and remind yourself, be a warrior.